Hello guys and welcome to my channel. Today in this video I am going to tell you how to mod your PS5 controller and add few extra buttons onto the back which are programmable, and you can map any of these buttons to any of the buttons that is there onto your controller. So basically one of the most useful use that I could find for these back buttons is to map it to L3 and R3 buttons, which is basically the click of your joysticks, which is really very difficult to do when you are playing a high-speed game and you want to click that L3 and R3 button, which you would be using for directions and movement as well. So doing it together is really difficult. When you remap it to the back buttons, it becomes really useful and easy. So today I'm going to tell you how to do that exactly on this channel. So ensure that guys you watch this video till the end so that you do not miss out on any important information or instructions that I have to share. Before we move further guys, if you're new to my channel and not yet subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button and click that bell notification icon so that you get the notifications for all my new videos. Let's get started. To do the mod guys, you would need to purchase this eXtremeRate RISE4 Remap Kit for PS5 controllers. Ensure that you purchase exactly this brand and for your controller for PS5. They also make this mod for PS4 controllers just in case you have it. But in this video guys, I'm going to stick it to PS5 controllers. And here on the back side, as you can see, this is eXtremeRate Coma Grip Programmable RISE4 Remap Kit. There is another older version which is RISE3, which is a little cheaper, but I would recommend to go through RISE4, which is easier to install and has better features and programs really easily. And they are available in different colors. For now, I have a black one because I'm going to mod my another controller as well, which is black in color. So I would want to use a black color mod for this one. Before you purchase this one, you need to know that it is compatible with certain types of controllers only, which has a serial number. Unfortunately, you will not be able to see the serial number unless you open your remote control, which I'm going to show you how to do that. And I will also confirm the model number for which this is compatible. So ensure that whenever you purchase this, you have the right model number compatible with your controller. So let's do that quickly. Before we start with the mod, let's see what is inside the box. Once you first open the box, you can see it comes with the back side plate of your controller of the color that you have purchased. So that is what it comes with. You have few extension strips that it comes with, which is used to bypass the remote controller's control panels and map it to this programmable button. So that is what it is used for. It comes with the programmable buttons for the back, the base chip, and the strips that is going to be connected. It comes with the back side buttons plastics, which are the clickable buttons that you would be using. I will show you in a minute how to assemble that and connect with your remote control. So that is that. And also it comes with few screws, screwdriver, and the plastic opening tool so that you will be able to open your controller easily. It comes with a gamer manual that comes with the instructions on how to remap those and what this company is all about. So I will keep that aside for now. So that's all you have inside the box. Let's see one by one each of the component and let's quickly assemble them in parallel as well. So as I have told you before, this is the screwdriver and the screws that came along with. That helps to install all the extra components that came along with this kit. So let's quickly reopen this and let's get started. So this is the plastic tool that we are going to use to open the controller. This is the screwdriver. And there are few screws and clips that came along with it. So I will take this out and keep them aside for now. So let's keep that aside. That we'll be using it later. So the second thing that you would need is the back side of your controller. This is the base plate, which we are going to change on your controller, so that it has a place where you can connect the back buttons. Your original back plate will not serve. You have to replace it with this back plate so as to support the back buttons, and it has a place to attach it. So let's open this as well. So this is your back plate. As you can see, it is really identical to your controller back plate. So with more grip, as you can see, it comes with a grip on the back, so it's really nice to hold this grip than this original grip that it came with. But it does not have the Sony logo and the marking onto the back, but it has a place where you can install the back base plate. So that is what we are going to use, and we are going to replace the original back plate of the controller. Few more things that it came with is your back plate buttons. So that is what you're going to use to assemble and install it onto the back side of this new controller base plate or back plate. So let's open that as well. So it comes with few smaller things together, so you need to ensure that you do not lose them. So to start with the assembly, you would need this back plate. So this back plate, as you can see, is marked with K1 and K2. It is also marked onto the switches that it came with, so K1 and K2. So you're going to install exactly at that place. Before we can install, it comes with few bars like this, which you need to insert onto the side hole, as you can see here. That is where we are going to insert this. So let's insert like this onto the side. Just insert it like this, and it will stay at its place. We'll do the same with K2 side of it, which will go onto the K2 side of it. So we will install a bar that was supplied along with the screws, just like this. As you can see, I have installed it properly. So now K2 goes to K2's place. As you can see, these are the two clips which will hold the bar. So ensure that it is centered properly, and then you just need to push it down and it will stay at its place, right? And we'll do the same thing on to the other side. So you can see it stays at its place. So that is how you need to install the base plate. And then you have the second component, which is your top cover. Top cover, you need to install your K4 and K3, which is also marked here. And you have K3 and K4 marked onto the second set of switches as well. So you need to install at its place. K3 goes at K3. Just insert it from the back and align the holes, and it will stay at its place like this. You have to do it onto the other side as well. The same thing, it will just stick at its place. And then you have a small button onto the side, right? So this is the small button, this is the center button, which is used to start and stop the programming. So that is where it goes onto the center. So that is how it looks like from the front. Right, so we'll keep this aside for now. This is partially assembled. So before we go further, we are going to install this onto the back side of the plate. So here you have the 4 holes, and you need to align these 4 holes that you have onto the back and put a screw onto the back side here that you can see. So these are the 4 holes at which you will be using the black screw that was provided. Any of the black screw will help. So you're going to use any of these black screws using the screwdriver that came along with to hold the base plate onto the back side of your controller. So let's do that quickly. We'll put it here. We'll align the holes and quickly screw it onto the back. So using the screwdriver, we screw all 4 screws. So as you can see, my 4 screws are all installed, and as you can see from on the back side, my 2 buttons are already there. They are still not clickable because you need to install the plate here onto the back before you can close it. So that is what we are going to do later. So for now, your back plate is partially ready to be installed. Now let's open the controller itself. So guys, this is the controller which we are going to mod today. So let's quickly open this. First thing that you need to do is remove L1 and R1 button. To do that, you need to take this plastic thing. As you can see onto the top, there is a notch. You're going to put it onto the reverse way and take this out like this. Just hold your trigger bottom like this and then insert it onto the base like this and gently do a push and the button will come out. So that's we are going to do again for L1. Hold the trigger and then push it inside and gently press it and the buttons will come out. As you can see, my L1 and R1 buttons are now out. Here you can see onto the back, here you can see there are 2 screws onto the back which we need to open. Let's quickly open those screws. So I've kept them aside. So these two screws are now open. Next thing that you need to do is to remove this black plate. There is no screws here, guys. You need to insert the tool here onto the back and work the way onto the top to open it. Let's do that quickly. As you can see, it popped open. We have to do the same thing on the other side. As you can see, my both side clips are now open. We'll use this plastic to remove the rest of the part. So just pass on your plastic like this in reverse and it will keep opening. So we have passed it from one side, we'll pass it from the other side. Just ensure that the tip is in this direction up and it will keep opening the plate. You have to go all the way up till the kit is open. It's here and the back as well. Ensure that nothing is clipped before you can pull this out like this, and it will slide out like this. So that is how, guys, you need to remove the top plate. This we are going to reuse, so ensure that you keep it safe and do not break it while opening. Be really careful. So you keep this aside for now. So next thing we need to do is open two more screws which is there onto the back. So as you can see, there is one screw here and another screw here that we need to open. Let's quickly open that as well and keep them aside. So now we have opened all the screws. Now we need to remove the back plate. So let's quickly do that. All you need to do is work through the edges and it will open until here. And again, you have to work through the edges and it will open until here so that we can remove the back plate. So that let's do that quickly. We'll again use this plastic tool so as to not to scratch the controller, and we'll work the way out. You can put the hand and little stretch it and it will keep opening. Like this. Also, you need to remove these two locks that is there onto the top. Ensure that you release them safely so that they don't break. Just lift them up gently and it will move down. As you can see, these both clips are now open. So let's work through the back plate to open it. Push it gently through the hand and it will start opening onto the back like this. The last part here onto the controller is little hard, so you need to push a little bit to open it like this. As you can see, it is now cracked open. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Push it through the hand. Now you can see I have successfully opened the back plate. You just need to remove it from bottom up so that your controller triggers do not interfere. There are no wires onto the back, so don't worry. It will open like this. So as you can see, there are no wires onto the back plate of the controller, so we can keep this aside. We would not be using this as we are going to replace it with the new back plate. So that is how we remove the back cover. Now that we have removed the back cover, we are going to remove this battery. As you can see, the battery is connected with the terminal here. It is not glued, so you can lift it up and then disconnect the wires here. So we'll do that quickly. Let's lift the battery. This is the battery back plate. And you can see here, the wires are connected. These are 3 JST pins. So we will just pull it out and it will disconnect the battery. We'll keep the battery aside for now. Next thing that we need to do is remove this black plate. As you can see here, there is a small black thing here which you need to be careful about when you remove. So you need to pull this onto the back and lift it to take this out first. Once you have removed this, now you can do an unscrew of this back plate. There is a screw onto the back here that you need to remove the black plate. We'll keep that aside as well. And then onto the motor side, you have one screw here and another screw here, which we are going to open again. As you can see, I have removed both the screws. Now let's remove the back plate. All you have to do is lift it up and it will come out. Ensure that you do not damage this one, as you would need to place it again. As I have told you, it stays here onto the back plate here. So ensure that be careful while removing to remove this first, otherwise you might break this component. So let's keep the back plate aside as well. So now we need to remove few of the clips. All you need to do is pull them out and it will come out. So one of them is this wire, as you can see from the side. All you have to do is lift it. There is a black part onto it. Just pull this out and it will come out of the junction. That's how you need to do it. This is the first one. The second one is onto the top, this blue one. You have to remove that as well. Just pull it out and it will come out. That's how you need to do it. And there are two more jumpers, as you can see. These are the connectors as well. All you need to do is pull up from the side and onto the back here. All you need to do is pull this black plastic up and it will come out. And you have to do the same onto the other side to take this out. As you can see, this you would not be using, but you can keep it safe for future, just in case. So we'll keep that aside. We'll do the same thing on the right side. We'll pull this out and we'll pull the second connector, which is there onto the side as well, out. So as you can see, I have taken this ribbon cable as well outside. You will not be needing this as well. Here you can see now onto the motherboard, you can see the model number is BDM-010. Your can be BDM-020 or BDM-030. Depending upon this model number, guys, you will be purchasing the mod kit from the market. Like I told you before, unless you open the controller, you will not be knowing what is the model number of your controller. My one is BDM-010, so I have the compatible kit with me. So that's how you need to do it. Next thing that you need to do is push your joysticks inside so as to be able to take this motherboard out. It is being clipped from the side, just in case it's not coming out. You need to pull that out and the motherboard will come out smoothly, but ensure that you do not break the wires, because these wires are already connected, right? So we'll take this out and keep it like this onto the side. As you can see, I have taken the motherboard out. As you can see, it's now placed onto the back without disconnecting the wires that were there on the sides, without damaging them. Let's keep that aside for now and let's quickly open few more screws. Now, as you can see onto the top, there are two more screws that we need to open. So let's open the screws as well. Just like this. We are going to take them out and keep them aside. Now you can pull whole of the body up and this will come out and you will have the front plate exposed. Ensure that you do not damage this ribbon which is coming out onto the top. So we need to replace them at the same place. So let's take this out gently. Oh, you have to pass this ribbon cable. This was the place from where the ribbon cable was coming out. Ensure that ribbon cable passes smoothly and the plate will come out. As you can see, this is the internal components which is all assembled, which we will not disturb for now. We'll keep this aside for now and we'll work a little bit onto the controller itself. So as you can see, there is a touchpad plate which is installed onto the front plate, which we are going to take this out. So to do that, we need to remove the side plastics, just like this one as well onto the side. We'll remove this and keep it aside, and then what we'll do is we'll gently push the trackpad inside to take this out. Just like this, your base plate will come out from the controller. Ensure that you do not break anything because these are very flimsy plastic. As you can see, you can break them easily, so ensure that you are gentle when you are taking these components out. We'll keep that aside. Now we need to open 2 more screws, so let's do that quickly. We'll open them and keep them aside. Keep them aside and gently take out the black plastic. Just like this, and ensure that you pass the cable aside like this, and then you have the base plate, as you can see here. We'll remove this cable as well. This you would need to replace it, so ensure that you do not damage it. Just pull it out. As you can see, there are black strips on each of these ribbon cables, so that whenever you insert, you match this black line onto the port, so that you ensure that that is how you know that your cable was inserted properly to the length where it was required. So ensure that the black line when you reinsert is always matching with your port. So we'll keep this aside for now. And then, as you can see, this is the point at which you need to solder the wire. So this is another component that it came along with. Let's quickly open this. It comes with few ribbon cables. We'll keep this aside for now. I'll tell you how to install them. This is the motherboard for the buttons, which we'll install in the end. And this is the wire that came along with it. This is the red wire. It's all laminated except for the points onto the top, which is silver, as you can see, which we are going to install it to this point. So let's tin this point first so that we can connect the wire. So using the soldering iron, you need to heat the place and then solder it right at the place. So I put the solder there and we will install the wire. Ensure that your soldering is nice and clean, just like mine. There is a small connection that we need to make, and ensure that the silver part is all embedded inside the solder so that the connection is good. So as you can see, I have installed it correctly, the wire. Now we'll start with the assembly. We'll put the ribbon cable back, so which we took it out. So we'll insert it just like this and press it until the black line is in line with the port. So this is how we need to install. We need to put the plate back inside this housing. So that is how it was before. Right, just like this, and we'll put the black plate as well. We'll take the red wire out of this port itself from where the cable is coming out. So we need to put this like this, place it back. We'll pass the wire to the same place from where the ribbon cable is supposed to come out. We'll pass the ribbon cable and we'll place the black plate back to its place, and we'll put the screws back here onto the plate again. And then we need to install this back onto the front plate of your controller the way it was supposed to be before. So we'll insert this. As you can see, it's on its place, and we'll install that black thing that we took out again to its place, just like this. Ensure that the red wire is inside. It is as of now outside. Ensure that the red wire is as well inside. So I'm going to pull this in. because we need that inside the controller. So that's how we need to do it. We need to place back the body again, and as I have told you before, the ribbon cable will pass from this place, and this is the same place from which the red wire should come out. So let's do that as well. Let's put the red wire first. And then we'll pass the cable, ribbon cable. Ensure that it is at its place, just like this, right? And then we are going to put back the silver screws that we opened onto the top here, just like it was before. We'll also place back the motor screws that were there before, so that it stays at its place. Now this is another cable that we are going to use now. As you can see, this side you have the pads, and another side as well you have the pad, and this side you have some sticker. So this is the place, this is how we need to install this onto this place. As you can see, it has a similar pad, it should overlap. As you can see, there are two black pads onto which you just need to place this pad just like this, and ensure that your sticker is facing towards you, so that is how you need to install it. Otherwise it will not fit correctly. So that is how you need to install your black ribbon cable. Ensure that the other cable is onto the outside, it should not be pressed inside, right? So that is how you need to install this cable. Just place it onto the top. There is no soldering required here. Now you can place back the motherboard. Ensure that your side cable is outside when you install it, so that this can be installed onto the top like it was before. Now when you put the motherboard back, this is the speaker. Ensure that your speaker sets up inside correctly, otherwise you will not be able to hear the sound when your controllers makes one. So ensure that it is placed correctly. So we'll do that just like this. You need to lift the controller a little bit up so that it goes ensure that your ribbon cable is outside and your controller is placed onto its place. Ensure that your side cable is outside. As you can see, the motherboard now it's on its place. So that is how we want it. Now let's reconnect the cables that we disconnected from to the bottom and on the top. Let's just push it gently inside, and it will stay inside at its place just like this, and on the top as well. Let's reconnect the cable. As you can see, the black lines are matching, so that is how I know my cable is connected properly. So that is how we need to install this. For now, we need to do few more soldering. Before we do that, to ensure that the motherboard do not move, we'll install the screw here temporarily before we install the battery. So let's quickly screw this down so that the mother plate stays at its place. Now we will remove this again after we have installed the second component which is required. So this is the cable that it came with. You have an R3 and L3 button remapping which you need to place. You need to solder it onto this pad here and this pad here. You just need to put the cable onto the top, and it will automatically align the second one correctly. So all you need to do is hold this and solder it onto its place onto the top of those pins. So that is what we are going to do for now. Ribbon to its place just like this. Just be careful while doing it so that you do not burn yourself. As you can see, I have soldered it correctly onto one side. We'll solder the second part as well the same way. As you can see, I have soldered it properly. Just hold it to its place, the ribbon, and then you need to apply some heat to ensure that it stays at its place. I will resolder it this side as well, just to ensure that it is done correctly. Now that my ribbon cable is installed, ensure that the top side is facing onto this side of the controller, which is onto the top side of the controller. Your L should be facing onto the top. So that is how you need to install it. If you install it in a wrong way, you will have to reinstall this cable again. So ensure that you install it correctly. Once you have done the soldering correctly, you need few more components that comes in another packet. These are the ribbon cables along with the instruction manuals that it comes with. So there are two ribbon cables that you would need here with an instruction manuals on how to assemble it. I will keep this instruction manual aside for now. So these are the two ribbon cables that you would need. As you can see, each of the ribbon cable is marked with the model number BDM-010 and BDM-010. If you have BDM-010, you need to cut BDM-020. If you have BDM-020, you need to cut BDM-010. So that's what we are going to do. Since my model number is BDM-010, as you can see, the model number is BDM-010. So I am going to cut BDM-020 out of each these cables. So let's do that quickly. So for this one, I am going to cut BDM-020 as I would not need it. So let's cut them off like this from using a scissor. Ensure that you do not damage this BDM-010. So this is the first cable. We'll keep this aside. And then you have the second cable. You have BDM-020 here. As you can see, you have BDM-020 here and BDM-020 here. So I'm going to cut two parts out of it. Let's do that. BDM-020 out and BDM-020 from here. So these are the two cables that you would be using. So let's install them quickly. So the longer one is going to be on to the left side. So let's do that, as we need to install them like this, just like it was before. You need to have the black side out. So that is how you need to install it. Otherwise it will not connect properly. The black side out, and then you have the black side out as well on this side. So let's connect that as well. So this side cable is connected properly. We have to now connect onto the other side. Here both the sockets are inside. So this is the two places that we are going to connect. So we'll connect this one first. And then the second one. And you will have this cable coming out just like this. So now you have three cables, as you can see, which are hanging out. Now this is the time to connect your battery support. This is the black plate that we took out before. Before we install the back plate, ensure that you put this small thing onto the top and insert it onto its place. As you can see, I have put this onto its place correctly. And we need to remove this screw before we can install the back plate, as we put it just to ensure that the motherboard do not move at the time of soldering. So we'll remove this, take this out. We'll put the battery plate in to its place just like this. And we'll install back the screws. just like this. As you can see, my battery plate is installed correctly. Now I have 3 wires onto the top. So as you can see, there are 3 pads which are going to go onto these 3 sockets, which we'll connect later. But before we do that, this red wire which we connected before, we are going to solder it to this touch key. That is what it names as here. So this is the place where we are going to solder it. So let's do that quickly. Before we install this wire here, let's quickly connect the battery to its place. Ensure that your battery terminal is correctly placed and you connect it to its place just like this. Battery is connected, and put it to its place just like this. Ensure that none of the cables are interfering with the battery. Now what you need to do is remove this DST onto the back and stick it onto the battery so that it does not move. So let's do that like this. As you can see, it sticks properly to its place. Now what you need to do is heat this pad and solder this wire onto its place. So let's do that quickly with the soldering iron. You need to heat the pad and install the wire to its place just like this. I have tinned the pad. Now I'm going to solder this wire onto its place where it is supposed to be. As you can see, the wire is connected properly. So that is how it is supposed to be soldered. Now let's quickly connect all these 3 cables onto its place. Before we do that, there is a locking mechanism. You need to lift that black pad and then place this pads onto its side. You need to push it gently inside so that it stays at its place, and then lock it by pushing back the black flip switch. So that is how you need to connect all. Ensure that you install this side wire from the bottom of this pad, as this is going to be used onto the back plate. So let's remove the black flip, push the cable inside gently till it is in its place, and then close the flip. And the third one, the same thing. Open, push the wires, push the cable inside, and then close the flip. So guys, that is how you connect all the wires, the side wires and the red wires onto this terminal pad. From here onwards guys, you will not be needing any soldering anymore. All you need to do is connect this back plate onto the new base plate of your controller. To do that, you need to pass this ribbon cable onto this hole which is there onto the new back plate, just like this. Ensure that your controller back plate is aligned, and then you put this ribbon cable onto this pad as well, the same way we install the other ones. So you need to ensure that this is your top side and this is your back side. So you need to install it like this. The black side up is how it goes inside. So we'll push this inside a little bit and then close the switch so that it stays at its place. So that is how you need to install it. The next thing that you need to do is put this motherboard onto the slot that you have here. You have to push this on the top side thing onto the bottom of these clips, just like this, and rest things will stay aligned. As you can see, there are 2 more holes where we need to install the screws. The screws that we are going to use is little thinner this time, that came along with this. You need to push it here and screw it down using the screwdriver so that the motherboard do not move. Now that we have installed the backplate, we did not need anything more from inside the controller. So I have closed the controllers using the new base plate. As you can see, it is properly aligned. Now what we are going to do is replace the screws onto the sides, as you can see, which we removed before, from the two from the top and two from the bottoms. So here we are going to replace the screws. So let's do that quickly. As you can see, my 4 screws are now installed. The last thing we need to do is install the cover along with 2 more buttons that you have onto the top. Before we do that, there is another part which came along with in another package, which is your LED cover for the LED that you have on the top. So we are going to install it. Just push it onto the top, and these are the 2 points which will hold on to this cover onto its place. So that is how you need to install the LED cover. Now we have installed all 3 buttons and the LED cover. All you need to do is place it onto your controller and close it. And your buttons are aligned. Just press it onto the back and your mod is almost complete. We need to reinstall the back side R1 and L1. So let's do that. We'll go to R1 place, just push it and it will stay at its place. R2, same thing, just push it and it stays at its place. So now let's install the faceplate. The same thing, first insert the top so that the top notches goes inside the black part of your controller, and gently push it so that it is closed. So as you can see, your controller mod is now complete. Now that your mod is complete, now it's time to test and see if your mod works. So first thing that you need to do is go onto the back and hold the center button for 5 seconds, and you should have the LED blinking here onto the top. That will put your controller into the programming mode. So let's do that. As you can see, the red light is on. That means your controller is in the programming mode. Now I'm going to put K2 to R3 and K1 to L3 or reverse. So that's how you program it. So all you need to do is hold the button that you want to program and hold the button that you want to program it to. And then you will have 3 blinks onto the back with the red light. That is how you know that your programming is complete. So let's do that. I will put R3 and K1 hold together. As you can see, the LED blinks. That means it is programmed. I will do the same thing for L3 and K2. So that's how we are going to do it. Let's hold this for 3 seconds. LED blinks and stop. That's how I know my buttons for program. And then I will put these 2 buttons onto R2 and L2. So that's how I'm going to program it. So let's do that as well. R2 and L2, it's programmed. And then here it is K4 to L2, the same thing. I'm going to hold it for 3 seconds and it is programmed. Basically, you can hold any button and the button that you want to program it to, hold it together for 3 seconds and it get programmed. So any button that you have, arrow buttons and these 4 buttons, L3, R3, anything can be programmed onto the back buttons. Once your programming is done, hold on to the center button till your LED is turned off. As you can see, the LED is turned off. Now your buttons are programmed and you are ready to play. All you need to do is hit on PlayStation button to pair it to your console and you're ready to play. So this is it guys. This concludes this tutorial. I hope you guys like this video. If you guys like this video, please do not forget to hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I will try and answer as soon as possible. If you're new to my channel and not yet subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button and click that bell notification icon so that you get the notifications for my new videos. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching and cheers guys.